We have a note out from Adam Jonas of Morgan Stanley. It came out on Friday. I didn't see it until this afternoon, but didn't get a lot of coverage actually on X that I could find. But Bradford Ferguson did post it, and he had a couple of comments. Anyway, I want to go through this. So they start out, the title of their note is, "Okay, what just happened?" And then it says, according to a Reuters article citing multiple sources and internal company communications, Tesla has halted work on its low-cost car project Model 2, quote unquote, in favor of accelerating development of robotaxis. Goes on to say that Tesla CEO Elon Musk issued a rebuttal on X while not citing any specific inaccuracies of the writing. He said that Elon has not formally commented or issued any press release in response to the Reuters article. So he goes on to say, what if we take this at face value? While we are not in a position to comment on the accuracy of the report, we wanted to share some thoughts on this story as what could potentially drive a major rethink of the mass market EV strategy and other thoughts and questions. So number one, he says, Model 2 is critical to the medium-term top-line growth narrative. On our model, Model 2 accounts for over 40% of incremental unit volume from this year, 24, through full year 30. Number two, by 2030, we estimate Model 2 accounts for 36% of Tesla unit volume, 23% of auto revenue, 17% of total company revenue, and approximately 10% of companies' EBIT, no on the end, EBIT. We value Tesla's auto, this is number three. We value Tesla's auto business at $62 a share right now, or 20% of our $310 target. Of our auto valuation, we estimate Model 2 would account for approximately 10% of this business, or $6 a share. And finally, while Model 2 may be a small part of the profit pool for Tesla, pulling back from low-cost, high-volume products would be a negative to near-term sentiment and its potential thesis changing for many bulls. All right, other thoughts, he says. Is China already in the lead? This story coincides with slowing demand and increased competition. While Tesla has long targeted bringing down the cost of EVs to increase availability of renewable transport, one could argue that there are enough strong players in China with enough unused capacity to have already accomplished this objective. What more could Tesla bring? Assuming the Model 2 was the best EV money could buy for under $25,000, how long would it take before Chinese rivals caught up? A couple of years? All right, let's take this one apart piece by piece. I said in my article the other day that I thought it might be wise and that it wouldn't shock me if Tesla did pull back from China. But if they pulled back from China, it would only be a fraction of that $6 that he's talking about in terms of their expected growth over the next 7 years, 6 years. So I'm saying they might not be doing a drivable version of the Model 2 in China, but they would still do it in all the other territories. And my reason for that is because there is quite a lot of competition in China. On the other side of the coin, it suggested that there was plenty of good vehicles in China. That's just not true, okay? So you've got basically, you've got BYD in China, and then you've got a bunch of little guys. So no, I wouldn't be worried about the competition catching up to Tesla if they decided to really make a great car in China. What I suggested is that Tesla has lots of other places they can put their time, money, and energy. They don't necessarily need to put it into a consumer version of the Model 2, whatever we want to call it, in China. You've got to build plants, you've got to bring in tooling, you've got to do, it's a huge, massive operation that I'm just not sure is necessary in China. And then he goes on to say, how long would it take for Chinese rivals to catch up? Forever. None of them are going to have FSD. None of them are going to have all kinds of the great things that Tesla puts in their car, like over-the-air update. Yeah, maybe some of those will eventually catch up. But BYD is the competition. And by the way, that's really good competition, especially in China. All right. Next comment. Has Tesla realized that maybe Tesla, they're basically saying, maybe Tesla's realized that even a well-executed Model 2 launch would not be a game changer. A reminder to investors that the auto business, while Tesla's core business, 80% of revenues today, is one of the most challenging and competitive industries in the world. I think this is completely wrong. It is, again, as he points out, only 6% of their total expected profit or EBITDA, going forward. So yes, it becomes a smaller and smaller deal. I know I've mentioned this on this channel before, but I had a $5 million business. Of that, $4 million was water bottles, and about 800,000 was tire liners. We had a bunch of other products that did 50,000, 100,000, 120, 150,000. They were also RANs. They didn't get any attention. Take that and blow that up. If you've got Optimus robots doing 10 trillion a year and robotaxis doing 7 trillion a year, and FSD doing another, $100 billion in profits a year, and then you start coming down the line with semi trucks and energy storage, et cetera, the Model 2 will become like those small items that didn't get much attention. So absolutely that's true, but I don't think that's where they're coming from right now. I just don't believe it. So then they go on to say the FSD bull case. We're not so sure about the FSD bull case. Some investors have interpreted beneficiary, but the company must see a stabilization in the negative earnings revisions within the auto business first. We do not believe Tesla will get credit as an AI company as long as the core auto earnings are being revised down. The process may take a few more quarters to see through, over which time our $100 bear case may be in play. All right, so here's the idea. If this turns out to be true and that Tesla is not going to go forward with the Model 2 or the Gen 3 vehicle, however you want to put it, as a consumer vehicle anywhere in the world, and they actually announce that and it becomes clear, there may be a lag between that and when Tesla becomes seen as the AI play that it is. And Elon keeps emphasizing, we are an AI company that does robotics. That's what the company is for the future. That has an automotive division. Which part of that automotive division is robotics? So they're still going to want massive numbers of vehicles to be sold because those vehicles become the robotaxis, and those products become purchasers of FSD, which have very, very solid earnings associated with them. So no, I don't think that they're going to announce that, but if they did, I can see his thesis that there could be this moment in time, 1 or 2 quarters, before FSD really impacts in order for Tesla to be seen as a AI company. Now, at the same time, at any moment, the Optimus could impact, because we're seeing, lots of things happening right now with almost all of the other robot companies, actually starting to sell some products into commerce. It's only a matter of time. And again, yes, could there be a quarter or two? And could the stock go to 100? Yeah, I said that the other day. It could happen. I don't think it's going to, but it's a possibility. All right, let's see. Amidst the seemingly overwhelmingly bearish institutional investor sentiment, we reiterate our overweight rating on Tesla with a 310 price target. Our thesis is that Tesla is both an auto stock and an energy AI robotics company. In fact, our valuation for the core business, $60 a share, represents just 20% of the 310 price target. Negative developments in the global EV market very much matter to Tesla and should reasonably have a negative near-term effect. Okay, we got that already. Okay, is China already in the lead? The story coincides with, we already talked about that. All right, I think you've got the point. They think there could be a temporary lag between when Tesla gets recognized for AI and while also having a reduction in total auto sales. I'm going to fight back on that on a number of levels. Number one, I don't think that the Model 2 or the Gen 3 vehicle has been eliminated worldwide. And I don't even know for a fact that it's been eliminated in Shanghai. They may be going to make it in Shanghai. I have no information one way or the other, but in fact, we have no information saying they're going to. Whereas we have information they're going to make it in Berlin. We have information they're going to make it in Austin. We have information they're going to make it in Mexico, and we have information they're going to make it in India. So those four things have not been denied or rolled back. We've never been told they're going to make them in Shanghai, at least not anytime recently, or how that would work in terms of space, in terms of where the factory is going to be, when are they going to build that factory, et cetera. So those are my feelings. I'm going to stick with those feelings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, then we've got this from Brett Adcock. You know, he's the guy that has Figure AI. He says that Microsoft and OpenAI are planning a Project Stargate, $100 billion data center project. The project could reportedly cost over $100 billion. This would be 100 times more expensive than today's largest data center. Holy cow. By the way, this is Randy Kirk. Brian White will be on tomorrow around the noontime. Larry Goldberg, I think he and I are having a little bit of trouble coming together, but I'm pretty sure that his vacation is going to stabilize in the south of France on tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure he'll be joining me for Good News Monday night. And then, by the way, I got a nice reorder today from Robert H for 10 of the Cybertrucks, 5 camos and 5 regular ones. So thank you, Robert H, for that. Please don't hesitate to support the channel by doing what? You're already watching the channel. That's support number 1. Support number 2, hit like. Number 3, subscribe. And by the way, the subscribe thing, I just went over 21,000. Thank you very much for all those folks that are subscribing. And then hit notify if you want to be reminded about Brian White and Larry Goldberg tomorrow, as well as after the bell with just me in the morning. And then finally, Patreon. Please look down below and join Patreon. All right. As you know, the main thing we get to on Sunday night, which we call Monday morning, the show is Monday morning on Sunday night. The main thing that we do on this show is we talk about what's coming up this week in the financial world. So let's take a look because it's pretty amazing. All right. It's good. This is going to be really a wild week. Number 1, we have nothing on Monday. So relax on Monday, hang out, but you know what's going to happen with the market. It's not going to know what to do because it starts actually on Wednesday. Tuesday, all we have is what I consider to be a very important report. That is the NFIB Optimism Index. So we will be reporting that first thing on Tuesday morning. And that's the National Federation of Independent Business. Last month, they were at 89.4 on the optimism scale. The projections by those who were polled say that it's going to come in at 89.7. I've heard some things going both ways on small business. I've heard some things talking about small business not keeping up on those employment numbers last week. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Wednesday is the beginning of the craziness. So Consumer Price Index, core CPI, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what's expected by those who were polled. Last month, the headline number was 0.4. They're expecting the headline number to come down to 0.3. The core last month was 0.4. They're expecting the core to come down to 0.3. CPI year over year was 3.2 last month. They're expecting that to actually go up to 3.5. The core last month was 3.8. They're expecting that to come down to 3.7. So what I would say about this is if all of that stuff turns out to be true, this will be very good news. The market will like it. Things will do well. If they come in higher than this, if they still come in with the headline number at 0.4, the core at 0.4 or even 3.5, if the CPI year over year goes up, that CPI headline going up year over year by 3.5, that's not good. The core actually going down a beat to 3.7, that's good. But if it doesn't, it goes the other way, the 3.9 or 4.0 again, that would be very bad. Anyway, the only way I can have anything to say about this is still with Truflation. And Truflation is saying that it's already under 2%. And at some point, those rents have to come in to play here. I'm not sure exactly when that happens. All right, then also the same day, later in the day though, so we'll report on it Wednesday night with Jeff Lutz. We have wholesale inventories coming in that day. Those are expected to be up substantially. Last month, they were down 0.3. They're expected to be up 0.5. And we have the monthly U.S. federal budget deficit. I'm sorry, the budget. Last month was negative 378, expected to be negative 207 this month. All right, then on Thursday, we have, as always on Thursday, the initial jobless claims. Those are expected to be in the same range again, 215. Producer price index to follow up on the CPI. We got the PPI and the producer price index. The only one being estimated is the headline number. And that last month was up 0.6, which was one of the things that really drove the market crazy last month, especially after the CPI came in at 0.4. That is expected to drop all the way down to 0.3. That would be surprising, but I have nothing to help say that that's not true. Now let's get into Friday. We've got Friday. We have the import price index. Last month shocked by going up 0.3, and this month would be more shocking, saying it's going to go up 0.4. And then you've got the import price index minus fuel. Last month that went up 0.2. This month it's expected to be flat. Zero. No change in the price. And then consumer sentiment. Last month was at 79.4, and that's expected to come in lower at 78.6. That's an interesting number. I'm guessing that's because of nothing happening. Here's my guess, is how they'll play it if it really comes in higher. And what the consumers will be saying is it's the price of gasoline, and it's the fact that the price of borrowing has not come down and doesn't look like it's going to, and that's going to make them unhappy. All right. Then we have earnings report season, the earnings season beginning. Nothing really significant. You've got a couple of, at least one airline stock earlier in the week. But then on Friday, these are the banks. Everybody's ganging on one day today. Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, State Street, and BlackRock all reporting on Friday. So if there wasn't enough excitement on Wednesday and Thursday with CPI and PPI, then imagine all the potential for excitement on Friday with 5 of the biggest banks in the country reporting. All right, well, as noted earlier, we've got those great guests coming tomorrow, Brian White and Larry Goldberg, so please hit notify. Earlier today, I did a video you probably should go back and take a look at. It was actually Cern Basher's video, very good video, getting lots of good reviews on that one, tons of comments, and that's all about FSD and how the licensing might work out with regard to FSD. If a few companies started coming forward, how might that look like in terms of the deals that might be cut? So that is it for Monday morning on this Sunday night, and it's been great talking to you.